Holy shit, who are these guys?
The movie begins in a hotel in Italy, where a group of secret agents is deep into a mission. One of the agents, Roxanne, is stationed on the outskirts and stays in constant communication with the team. Meanwhile, back at the London headquarters, Tom, the head of the team, oversees the entire mission from a command center, watching through surveillance cameras. The goal is to capture a CIA agent who's carrying a crucial device inside a suitcase. As the operation nears its final stages and the agents prepare for the extraction as they were going out, the vehicle that was supposed to pick them up explodes, leaving them with no other choice but to retreat back into the hotel and find another way out. Roxanne tries to contact her team, but they are eliminated one by one.
Copy. Anybody copy? Anybody?
Agent Nick, the last survivor, reaches the extraction point, only to be eliminated as well. The operation fails when a vehicle arrives to take the device. Meanwhile, Mike, a construction worker still living with his mother, runs into Roxanne, his ex-girlfriend, at a bar. Their relationship ended when she disappeared to join the Union, an elite undercover group. They reconnect, sharing memories of the past and enjoying their time together. Roxanne then suggests they visit a place they used to go, but what Mike thought was a romantic reunion turns out to be a trap. She had lured him in to seduce and recruit him into her team. Mike wakes up in London, disoriented, and Roxanne explains she drugged him to bring him there. He storms out, but meets Tom, who tells him that the team needs someone ordinary, someone like Mike, who would blend in without suspicion. Tom explains that the team is planning to sell a stolen device containing sensitive information, and Mike's role would be to pose as a buyer and infiltrate the deal. Mike is given until the end of the day to decide whether to join Roxanne and her team or return to his normal life. Despite Roxanne's persuasion, Mike is torn over the decision. Roxanne offers him a first-class plane ticket back home, making it clear that the decision is his to make. Mike spends some time weighing his options. After a while, he makes up his mind and decides to accept the offer, agreeing to join the mission. He quickly undergoes extensive training to prepare for the role, from learning to shoot to mastering hand-to-hand combat and improving his reflexes. 2 weeks later, the mission is set in motion. Mike's first task is to personally retrieve an encrypted device, which he will need in order to participate in an upcoming auction. While Mike takes on this role, Roxanne and the rest of the agents remain undercover. Mike arrives at the designated location, where he is met by a man who leads him to a cell phone. The phone provides instructions that guide him to the bathroom of a nearby restaurant. There, a man hands him the encrypted device, and Mike is momentarily relieved. However, things quickly take a turn for the worse when Mike realizes that another undercover team is also after the device, one that plans to steal it from him. Chaos erupts as Mike goes on the run, trying to escape with the device. Meanwhile, Roxanne and her team take down several of the opposing agents in a fierce confrontation. As the number of enemies increases, Mike seeks refuge in a building. There, he encounters a woman who quickly overpowers him and knocks him to the ground. In the struggle, the device slips from his hands and falls into the water below. Mike tries desperately to retrieve it, but it's too late. Roxanne arrives just in time to take down the woman who had attacked him, but the damage is done. The device is lost, sinking into the water. The team gathered after this and quickly shifted to a new plan: to steal one of the remaining 5 devices that are up for auction and use that to complete their objective. Mike, though no longer essential to the mission, refuses to step away. He's determined to finish what he started, not wanting to disappoint Roxanne. Despite Tom's suggestion that Mike should no longer be involved, Roxanne decides to give him another chance. She allows him to remain part of the team. The mission continues, and they manage to reach a computer containing one of the encrypted devices they've been after. Mike proves to be a valuable asset, helping the team secure the device they were looking for. However, an agent from Roxanne's team is now found dead, a sign that someone else has become aware of their presence and is now hunting them. As they scramble to figure out what happened, the building where Tom's team is housed comes under attack, resulting in a massive explosion. With the danger escalating, Tom orders his team to separate and lay low until the situation calms down. Roxanne and Mike head to what they believe is a safe house. Roxanne and Mike end up sharing the room for the night. They both emphasize that nothing will happen between them. The next morning, the news reports that the explosion was caused by an electrical failure. This explanation doesn't sit well with either of them. Tom reaches out to them, informing them that they will have only 18 hours left before the auction begins. They must move quickly to finalize their plans. In their new operations center, Tom proposes a strategy to ensure the auction location remains open for as long as possible, giving Roxanne and Mike the time they need to locate and secure the target. The CIA becomes involved in the operation, agreeing to provide the necessary funding for the auction. Roxanne and Mike prepare for the next phase of the mission. The man in charge makes it clear to Roxanne and Mike that they must obtain the information at any cost. If they fail, the syndicate will be destroyed. As soon as the auction begins, Roxanne and Mike gear up and head out to the auctioneer's location. Roxanne goes full speed ahead of Tom, back at their operations center, bids as aggressively as possible, trying to keep the auction running as long as it takes to give them the time they need. Roxanne and Mike arrive at the building where the trail leads them, and they finally come face to face with Juliet, the auctioneer. Roxanne threatens Juliet, demanding that she hand over the super-secret information they've been after. Juliet remains calm, revealing that she has the information at her home and will only give it to them if they come with her. At Juliet's house, she leads them inside and pulls out a suitcase from a hidden compartment. Roxanne grabs what she came for, but before they can leave, someone knocks on the door. Roxanne opened the door, only to see Nick, someone Roxanne thought was dead, standing there.
Roxanne, your life is in danger.
In the middle of the shock, Mike learns that Nick is actually Roxanne's husband. Nick reveals to Juliet that there's a mole in the union, and to their shock, it's none other than Tom. According to Nick, Tom has been secretly working against them, and it's his betrayal that led to the deaths of several of their colleagues. He warns Juliet that she can't trust Tom and that she shouldn't hand over the information to him. Instead, Nick proposes a secret meeting at dawn to deliver the data to the CIA. Roxanne, after a tense moment of hesitation, agrees to the plan. Once Nick leaves, Mike confronts Roxanne, accusing her of hiding the fact that she was married to Nick. Their argument quickly escalates, with both of them airing out their frustrations. It turns out that neither of their parents wanted them to be together, a detail Roxanne had never shared with Mike. The tension boils over, and Mike storms off in anger. The next day, Roxanne waits at her bridge, where Nick arranged to meet her. But as she stands there, Mike arrives, refusing to let the mission end.
I mean, I would have got here a lot sooner, but I was standing on the wrong bridge.
Just as the two of them start to argue again, Nick calls with shocking news. He's not coming. It turns out Nick set Roxanne up. The real mastermind is none other than Nick himself. He confesses that he switched the device with Juliet the night before and that he has the critical information. Worse still, he's behind the deaths of his own teammates. The CIA suddenly arrives, ready to arrest both Roxanne and Mike. But Roxanne doesn't give up. In a desperate bid to escape, she and Mike pretend to jump into a boat to throw off the CIA's pursuit. The agents are fooled, and the two manage to slip away unnoticed. Now, temporarily safe, Roxanne reveals she had secretly placed a tracker on Nick the night before. Roxanne and Mike are in a high-stakes chase against time to stop Nick, retrieve the stolen device, and prevent the sale of highly sensitive information. They begin by infiltrating a plane, using the stolen device's tracking signal to pinpoint Nick's location. Meanwhile, Tom is locked up, and the team watches in real time as Nick and Juliet are seen together on a boat, preparing to complete the deal. Roxanne and Mike quickly make their move, rushing to the negotiation site to stop Nick from finalizing the deal. Roxanne interrupts the transaction. She pulled a chair and sat, confusing the buyers. Things quickly escalated as a standoff between Roxanne and Juliet's men. In the confusion, Mike seizes the opportunity to grab the device. Juliet decides to abandon Nick and leave him to his fate. However, Nick hit Roxanne and managed to escape. Roxanne, unwilling to lose the stolen device, chases after him, but he managed to escape. Meanwhile, Mike is cornered by the people who were initially going to buy the device from Nick. Mike managed to jump and escape, but one of them caught up and strangled him. Roxanne shoots the other guy from a distance and ambushed the other. The device fell during the struggle, but Roxanne retrieved it. After this, as Nick and Roxanne were walking, Nick came and held Roxanne hostage. Mike lowered his gun, but a car came, and, using this distraction, Roxanne and Mike ran from Nick. The two separated, and Mike finds himself being chased by another party that wants the device. The car hit him, and he got on the windshield. When the car crashes with another one, Mike's thrown off to another car's trunk. The device fell on the ground, and Nick picked it up. Roxanne followed him, as well as the other men driving the car Mike is in. Mike manages to free himself from the trunk and joins Roxanne in the pursuit. They race after Nick. Just as it seems like they've lost him, Mike takes over the chase, and it all comes to a head in an intense moment where he confronts Nick. The chase culminates, but Mike's car fell from a cliff. Thankfully, Mike jumps to safety just in time, barely avoiding disaster. Roxanne didn't give up, and with Mike, they kept following Nick. Nick makes it to a port, preparing to make his final escape by sea. They catch up to him, and Roxanne points her gun at him. Nick tried to convince her to join him, but she shot him, and he fell into the water. Mike and Roxanne took the device and walked away from the dock. After some time, Mike attends his friend's wedding. In the wedding, Roxanne unexpectedly shows up. The two agreed to give their relationship a second chance. However, as they attempt to sneak away from the party to be alone, they are intercepted by none other than Tom, who has been released from custody. Tom, now back in action, reveals that he has another mission for both Roxanne and Mike. With the mission on the horizon, he welcomes Mike to the Union.
Welcome to the Union, Mike.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.